Okay, good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo, first year at Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. Here we are, our second shir, Mr. Berura, Yerushalyim, in preparation of the 3 weeks. Simin Tov Kuf Mem Tes, Sif Beis. Have an answer? Go ahead.
Yes.
Talk please.
HaKodesh Siv Bakra, HaKodesh HaRavi. It's in the 4th month, right?
Yes.
Tisha HaKodesh in the 9th.
The 9th of the HaKodesh, the 9th day of the month.
Which is the 4th month.
That's Tammuz.
Tammuz.
4 months from Pesach, from Mishna is Tammuz.
The city was breached, right?
Exactly.
Surrounded.
Yeah, well, actually breached. Surrounded was Asar B'Tevis is when it became surrounded, and actually breached on the 9th of Tammuz.
And that falls, sorry to tell you, falls on Shabbos?
Not on Shabbos, on Erev Shabbos.
If it was fall on Shabbos, it would fall on Shabbos?
Never. Only Yom Kippur, only one festival. It's only festival. Yeah.
Ein Mis'anin. Tisha B'Av.
Even though, right? Afagab, even though it says in the pasuk that on the 4th month of the 9th day of that month, that's when the city was breached. We don't fast on the 9th of Tammuz. Why not? Rather, other Shiva also. Only rather, right.
Even though Yerushalyim Hufka B'Tisha B'Av. In the first, right?
Right? Even though that in the first base of Mikdash, it was breached the city on the 9th of Tammuz. Keva. However, since in the second base of Mikdash, it was breached the city in the 17th.
Tiknu Lisanos B'Shiva Asabah. The second falls on the 17th, and Shum the Churban by Sheni Chomerlan. It's more worse, right?
Yeah, it's more serious for us. We're still living with the ramifications of the Korban Bayasheni. So therefore, that's more significant for us. The time when the first, when the second bias the destruction began, which was at the beginning of the end, was when the city was breached. Yeah. Let's take a look at the Mishna Berura. Sif Dal, one line.
That Tisha. Lo Rot Tzadidza by Tisha. The one that goes on the 9th. The Ein B'Tarchin Al Hatziba Yosek Medarga. To bother the probably more necessary.
To distress, right? Because really, in theory, we should make a fast on the 9th of Tammuz, and another fast on the 17th of Tammuz. And then again, another fast on the 9th of Av. But to make 2 fasts in Tammuz, one for the breaching of the city walls of the first bias on the 9th of Tammuz, and the second on the 17th of Tammuz, when the second base of Mikdash, the walls of the city were breached on the Korban Bayasheni. That would make 2 fasts in Tammuz. We didn't want to distress the Tzibor, congregation of Klal Yisrael, more than absolutely necessary. So we stayed away from doing that. So rather we fast 1 day on the Yud Zayin Tammuz.
So the individuals who fast on that day?
I'm not sure. Perhaps. Person's excited, yeah. Let's see, Tov Kuf Nun.
Tov Kuf Nun. Hivdil Sheyesh Bein Tisha B'Av and Tsama. Separate between Tisha B'Av and the rest of the fast.
Right, the difference. We can explain the differences between Tisha B'Av and the other fast.
HaKol Chayom Nisanos Arba Tzamas Halalu. Everybody is hard to fast on this whole fast. What's the difference together?
In Everyone's obligated to fast, on these fasts, and it's forbidden to make a breach, meaning not to do something which the congregation is doing. You have to follow the congregation.
Hagamihu Aves
Boros.
pregnant.
Yes,
Blockers and women of mercy. Shemitztaras, however, they have a lot of stress. Ain is anos. They don't fast.
Right.
I feel Aina mitztaras. Meaning they're not in stress. Aina mechilus is anos. They're not obligated to fast. Ela shenakula hachmer. Or they're known to be, or they're known to be machmer.
Yes. So again, the Mechaber said everybody, meaning every Jewish person is obligated to fast at least 4 fasts, and is forbidden to not do, to be parad's getter, to break a fence, meaning to not to do it. However, the Ramah adds, pregnant women, because nursing women, Shemitztaros harbe, that they have a lot of distress because of the fast. Ein l'saros, they're not to fast. Afilu einam mitztaros, even if they're not going to be mitztaros, eino michayavis lasanos, ella shenagu lahachmi. And even if they're not mitztar, even if they're not distressed, mikra din, they're not obligated to fast. Rather, the minhag is that they are machmir and they do fast. Right? B'dafka, go ahead. Specifically, shlosh tzomos. These are the specific 3 fasts. Avo b'tisha b'av.
Tisha B'Av, mechuyuvas lehashem, mechayev to repent.
They don't fast on Tisha B'av, they have to fast another day to make up the fast that they didn't fast on Tisha B'av. Okay, let's see the Mishna Berura here.
Also, therefore, it's get up.
Yeah. Can't break a fence. Can't take
Hey, Rabbi.
Show.
Morning.
Huh? Yeah.
It's construction and I just got came late
Oh, wow.
instructions. Just gonna wash this.
No problem.
Traffic, eh?
Traffic and construction.
Is there anything else to eat?
No, I'm fine, thank you. We just about to start the Mechaber, but we'll review the Mechaber Ramah again in Taf Kuf Nun.
Taf Kuf Nun?
Yeah.
Base?
Actually, in Aleph, we just start. I'll read it for you. Hakor Chayavim L'sanos, Arbat Tzamos Alalu. But also the throats together. That everyone's obligated to fast on these 4 fasts, and it's forbidden to parts together. The Mishna is going to go into explanation. What do we have to add this extra point, Asr Lifrod together? I mean, if it's Asr, it's Asr, right? You know, everyone's Chayiv, right? So you're Chayiv, you're Chayiv. What does it have to say, Asr Lifrod together? There's an addition here that seems to be extra, right? So Mr. Bu's going to explain this a bit. Why there's a special warning here. And usually every time you say you're chayav to do something, you don't get an extra warning, and if you go against it, it's forbidden to pour its together. You don't usually see that. So we'll discuss that in the Mishna. And now the Ramah adds, Miyu, however, meaning even though the Mechaber said everybody is chayav to fast, Miyu, Uboros, Umniachois, Mustaros, Harbe, Einas. You have, however, pregnant women and nursing women that they are very distressed over the fast, then they're not to fast. Afilu Einum Nitstaros, and now the Ramah adds, and even if they're not going to be troubled by the fast, Einum Muchayavis Lahanus, they're not obligated to fast. Elishano Gula Hakmer, however, the minhag is that they are Machmer and they do fast. V'davke v'shlosh somos. These are with the three fasts. Yud Zayin v'Tammuz, right? Tzom Gedalia and Sorah v'Teves, right? And with Tisha B'Av, Muchayeves lahashlim. But on Tisha B'Av, if they don't fast, they're going to be obligated to make up that fast some other time. Yeah? Let's see the Mishnah Berura Sifkat now. Of certainly fruits get it. This is what the Mishnah Berura is coming to explain. What's this extra additional statement of forbidden to be pards get? It's forbidden to break through the fence. Yeah, go ahead, Yusuf.
Also, leave for its get is also to breach the fence. But Sonia Lama mean to say, Afon Gavi the Maskin and the Gemara, including the Gemara, the Bizman, the Ein Matsu Gezeras of the Kechavim, Israel. The time that there was not found many gezeras that going put on Yisrael. Talui Hadava Ratzon Yisrael. It is dependent on the Ratzon of Yisrael.
Meaning, when it comes to these fasts, meaning according to the halacha in the Gemara, these fasts were somewhat optional, right? It depended upon the situation. When it's not common that the goyim are making decrees against us.
Especially today.
Excuse me?
Especially today.
What do you mean?
It's pretty friendly to all of us.
We'll see what the Mishnah Berura says. Right? When it was the Ein Matzu Gezer, so you could Chavim al Yisrael, when it was at the time that they weren't particularly common, right? Decrees and enactments against the Jews, right? Toli har davar b'rotzon Yisrael. Whether to fast on this fast was somewhat, what I'd say, voluntary. It's voluntary, right? Whether it means voluntary of the general populace or each individual or a group that was appointed to oversee the populace, that's not exactly clear at this moment. But if there's no gezeras, then it's dependent upon the person apparently whether he wants to do it or not. What does that mean?
And in Matsu Rav Yisrael, from the Matsu Yisrael wanted, is Skimlin and Gregulalis Arnois Shash Tzomais. Not to fast on these three fasts, or just beyond them, it's just the commissions in their hand. Chasu Paiskim, Paiskim right, the Aksha Kvar Rotsu Kibla Aleim Klau Yisrael, the Dorva. Now that they also accept upon themselves, generation to generations of fast. Also live for its get, it's also to breach the fence.
Yeah, so that's what it means, Ashul L'Frosh. I mean, since at the time, according to the halacha in the Gemara, it was dependent upon Rov Klal Yisrael. When there were no gezeras against the Jews, then it was dependent upon the majority if they wanted to fast or not.
Except for Tisha B'Av, right?
Except for Tisha B'Av, correct. Right. However, the psak according to the poskim now is that since the generational halacha is that they do fast, therefore it's asur l'fast. So since this was an obligation which was somewhat dependent upon majority opinion at the time of the Gemara, So it wasn't a absolute obligation to fast on the 3 minor fasts. However, now, since it's been decided for us that the fasts are obligatory, now you can't go and be parts getter, break through a fence, and do what you want. And fast yes, maybe, or not fast no. You have to go along with the psak in terms of the generational psak halacha, that now they're obligatory fast is, and now you must go along with everybody else and fast, and it's also lichot skedet. That's why there's an additional statement of also lichot skedet. Now let's see about the exceptions of the pregnant and nursing women.
Mihu, however, the Rasha Shabbatza V'Kipulahem is Anois, the time that they accept upon themselves to fast,
Meaning, again, when it was decided that now all generations, they're going to now be fasting during these fasts, built into that decision was that we're not going to obligate women who are fasting, who are pregnant and nursing to fast. Okay, let's continue.
Berura's Menachos means
Women that are pregnant and nursing.
Mustava, the Berura's Mikre Shah Shohuka Avla, Mustava means logical. Berura's in the pregnant.
You can now see that the woman's pregnant. She's bulging, right? So you understand that she's pregnant. It's evident, it's evident that she's carrying a child.
The Kamlan that we see later on, the Indian Vestos, right?
Right.
Kolmakon Ershad Afilu La'acha Arba'im Yoim. Nevertheless, it's possible that after 40 days, it's Saras Sablat. It's just Sablat after it's been formed, right?
Yeah.
Mamni Havelach Chla Meveris. It's also included in this,
Right?
in Marrakesh's Tsar.
Correct.
She feels pain, right?
She's distressed in some way, right?
Although Babatse Mehachi,
If it's going to be less, meaning she's not distressed. She doesn't feel distressed, right?
Havela Kla Nafshi, Chodavish, including all the other women.
Meaning they have to, just like every other woman, all other women have to fast. She also, if she's not distressed, right, she has to fast as well, just like any other woman.
The Nosh and Star is Hargad.
Unless she has a lot of distress.
In Marrakesh's Chalushah, she feels a little, she feels weak. In La Hachme Baklau, not at all.
I mean, that's a lesser Madrid. That's a greater Madrid. It's Tared,
That's right.
and then it's Kalosh.
That's right.
I mean, she's becoming weak. Weak is already a more
That's right.
serious situation. Distressed is maybe she's got a headache. She feels.
See, basically, a woman says, I'm just not in the mood, it's not for me, and go eat.
Yeah, in general. Yeah, I mean, well, Mitzvah is harbe. She's got to be severely distressed. She has to be really disturbed by the fast in some way. Right, that's what the lotion is.
Because I met a lot of older Ashkenazi people who said that in Europe they didn't fast.
No, you should know the minig is in general the cloud. The 9 or 3 fast goes along. Oh, yeah, thank you. That they don't, many, the cloud.
It's because of this, or
I'm not
because
sure.
in Morocco it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Women fasted even when they weren't supposed to fast.
All right.
That's what I'm asking.
No, I'm not sure how it developed exactly. Look, I mean, again, you have, the Mechaber for the Svardim, there's no mention about women
Right.
having a safety out, right? So there's the Ramah, there's Ashkenazim who are
Right.
bringing up this exception for the women who are pregnant and nursing, right? So, yeah. Okay, what do you continue? But start again Gimel again. You have the first white line Gimel.
From the time that you can see that she's pregnant.
Right. Once you're considered to be in this situation of being considered pregnant, when you can see the blood, which is usually after 3 months.
Right. Okay, that she can see or the people can see? Like people can tell?
I'm not so sure. I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, she'll have to. She's gonna have to start wearing new clothes. Like.
Right.
Well, I'm not sure if other people, because I tell you, a lot of women, they don't like to show so
Right.
fast. Sneeze, they don't want to, or whatever it might be. So I'm not sure if it's dependent upon other people seeing it. She now sees that it's becoming bigger down there. Yeah.
Kid kaimalan le'inyan vesatot. What's that?
A vestis, that's by Hilkus Nida. Does she have to be choshish for a vest? Meaning,
Right.
she has to be, so once it's determined she's a pregnant woman, so they
Well, based on the
can relax the laws of the vest.
Umikol makom efshar dafil la'achar ba'im yom litzeret al. For any place, you can even 40 days. Nami havya b'chla mu'beret le'inyan zeh imar kishitzar. And in Nami, if she's pregnant, according to this, and she feels sar. Ava bevatzir hakin
Yeah, go ahead.
nira dehavila kechola nashim. But if she's otherwise, she's just like any other woman. The chol davar im elom shemitzta eretarve. Like she doesn't feel bad. I guess she should go ahead and do it. But if she feels weak, and la'achmir bakla, you're not machmir. You let her do what she wants.
Right. So you have here. So there are those that say it could be even after 40 days,
Right.
and then she's going to be considered to be within a getter of being pregnant. If she feels some kind of sorrow. Some women, they get the morning sickness, right?
Right.
So they need a cup of tea. They need after they get themselves
Right.
back to each other, to themselves, they need a cup of tea, a glass of milk.
Right.
So there's that. If they're feeling those situations, right? So it could be even if she's 40 days, but less than 40 days, it apparently is that she's going to be like every other woman. It's going to be mechayev to fast unless she's mitzvahs harvey. She has a lot of tsar. And it could be like the morning sickness. I never went through it. We're not. Sometimes they're really out of it. And
because I had my kids, they couldn't handle fast. They still can't.
yeah. Okay. Now that's if it's tsar. Now Imer Geshes Chalusha, she was weak already, right? Ain.
She needs her coffee.
Yeah. Well, she's feeling weak.
Right, so I'm saying, you need a coffee. Basically, because coffee. There's a brain surgeon in Florida who used to advise people a week before to cut down on the coffee. Because the coffee is a very powerful something, whatever, to the brain, and it can make you really weak on a fast day if you don't have it. And he would tell them to start, you have 1 cup, half a cup for 2 days, and can cut it till you cut it out. Cut out the coffee before a fast. I'm just letting you know. I mean, I don't know how you fast, but
it depends. Every day, everyone's different sometimes. Depends. The most difficult one is Sarah Batavis in general because it's cold.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
The cold makes it easier.
Oh,
The heat is you're sweating, you're in the street,
Okay, see, everyone's different.
Everywhere's different.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Sivkat and Daled, Ein Laha.
And they eat, I know it, the Choshe came in Hu Choleh She'ein Bo Sakana. And if a sick person was not Sakana.
Right,
If I that part of Mitana, then for sure he's part from fasting. Asur Lachmir, the last one, and it's asur for him to become Machmir.
and to fast.
Fast.
Right, it's a question whether a person who's really not supposed to fast, if he's being marked and fast, like can you starve him to a million,
Right.
and all these kind of silence. Yeah.
But if they're weak, near the end lahem lachim, they don't have to be machmir. But we call makom afat tzaref lach, even somebody has meat. Loit anlik atzmo bevasav yarim rak kefi mashitzarach. You should not feast on meat and wine. You should have whatever he needs to survive. The chenak tanim sheish lam dat leitaber, and also children who have, who can realize what's happening.
Mhm.
Even though they have no chiyuv to train them.
Right.
Even if they're 12 years old.
Right.
I feel a tiny chat, and even if they're a few hours. That you even though they don't have any things of chinuch, you should make the chinuch of they shouldn't eat meals, just bread, water, and basic foods.
Right. Nothing that's going to be really enjoyable.
Right. The fisha tinok kedei sheit ablu imatzibur. So no. Fisha kedei sheit tinok. Yeah, but they should be part of the community. Should realize mourning with the community.
They should mourn
with the community.
Right. They should mourn along with the community. Okay. That brings us to base. Okay, good. We'll stop here. Yeah, we have to see there'll be more luck is tomorrow. Okay. Continue on this tomorrow.